Look, I like to yap just as much as the next guy. In fact, I yap so much that if you were my mom, you might even tell me, you need to shut your yapper, get your ass off my couch, and find a goddamn job. To that, I would say, a job? In this economy? Dear mother, yapping is the job. Dearest mother, yapping might be the only job in this economy. That's just how my mom and I talk with each other. You wouldn't understand. Dumbass. Now, for everyone watching this, you are either one of two people. Either you clicked off the video 5 seconds in as soon as I compare you to my mother, in which case, good for you, I guess. I mean, I don't care. That's fine, I don't care. Or you're still sitting here listening to me yap like the proper moron that you are while I spew straight gibberish out of my mouth. No worries. You fall into the vast audiences in America and beyond that increasingly just want to hear people yap. And the market has followed. Over the past couple of years, we've seen the explosion of talking-based communications and entertainment media, which have found widespread appeal and adoption across the nation. Podcasts have become a cultural phenomenon, with the percentage of Americans saying that they've listened to a podcast in the last month increasing by over 400% since 2008. So many new podcasts have started in just the past 6 months that the sale of Shure microphones is the only thing holding up the American GDP and preventing a full-on recession. Audiobooks are now an enormous part of the overall book market, which sort of doesn't make sense to me, because how are you going to read performatively on the metro or in a cafe if you only have audiobooks? Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Live streaming as well is dominating the cultural discourse like it's nobody's business, with influencers, gamers, and political commentators alike yapping to audiences of tens of thousands for hours on end, day after day after day, about the news, current events, and other hot button topics on platforms like Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok Live. Even our news is yappers. They just put like 5 yappers in a room together and let them duel it out. Our entertainment is yappers. They just put 20 yappers in a room together and let them duel it out. Oh my God. This nascent cultural phenomenon has been termed the yap economy by society's foremost economic experts. Me. And hey, I get it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You want to hear people yap? I want to hear people yap. So like pigs eating out of a trough, if it's yap you want, it's yap you'll get. Okay. All right. I'm just kidding. I do want to examine why we've gotten here as a society, though. Why formats where people are literally just talking, either by themselves or to another person, or, with a group of people, have gotten so incredibly popular in the past couple of years. But first, let me tell you why I view these things like podcasts, live streams, and audiobooks, or rather the way that we engage with them, as a sort of extension of brain rot, in the same way that doom scrolling on TikTok is brain rot. Now, you may be asking, but Kobe, how can podcasts and audiobooks be brain rot? TikTok videos are short, overstimulating, and erratic, while podcasts and audiobooks are hours of condensed, uninterrupted knowledge. They couldn't be further apart. All right, George, I'm tired of you questioning me, okay? Jesus Christ, you're annoying. Cut it out. TikToks and podcasts, audiobooks and live streams are all brain rot, but just at different ends of the spectrum. It goes short form TikTok scrolling, to reality TV in the middle, to long hours of uninterrupted yapping at the other end. And it's because of the way that we all engage with these forms of content, just by shutting off our brains and letting the noise, the visuals flow into us without really processing, without really thinking, without really internalizing the message, if there is one. And that's the same for TikToks, it's the same for live streams, it's the same for podcasts, and yes, it's even the same for audiobooks. Think about it. I'm sure that you have a favorite podcast or streamer or audiobook, and you love listening to them, and you really feel that by listening, you're learning something, gaining something valuable. But really, are you? Are you really understanding and internalizing and remembering their message? Like, let me ask you, do you remember what your favorite podcasters were talking about 2 podcasts ago? Do you remember the arguments that the audiobook author uses to support their conclusion? Odds are you can't. That's because you listen to them as a sort of brown noise to keep you company while you eat dinner or drive to work or fold your laundry. And before you dog on me in the comments for attacking your favorite podcaster that you worship like a god, that you would literally bow down to and let them step on your head if you ever met them in person, let me just say that I'm not here to knock on podcasters or streamers or audiobooks or anything like that. I also love myself a good session of listening to 3 white men yap about the problems in our society. I also love listening to a book and feeling like I'm learning valuable life lessons when I know damn well that I'll remember nothing in just 3 days. It's fun, I guess. It's something to do. Something to fill up the time. Something to keep me company in the face of the profound existential loneliness that we are all facing right now. And I think it's because we're all so lonely and disconnected from each other that any semblance of human connection, even if it's coming from a voice in our AirPods while we eat dinner, is enough. Necessary even. We are starving for connection. Connection that folks used to get so easily just 20 years ago by walking down the street to the local coffee shop or bookstore or park and just waiting for people to show up. So I'm Gen Z, and for all the Gen Zs out there thinking you're all high and mighty as the, objectively greatest generation to grace the face of God's green earth, let's be real. Did you know statistically, as Gen Z, we hang out with our friends 70% less than people our age did 20 years ago? Low-key, why are we kind of lame, y'all? We don't have friends. You, of course. I'm not lame. I have friends. I have more friends than I can count, which means it's at least 10 because I don't know what comes after that. But in all seriousness, I've been out of school for a couple years now, and I'm realizing, why is it so hard to meet new people and make new friends? Seriously, it's like I have to work 9 to 5, and then my mornings are taken up with getting ready, and my evenings are taken up by exercising, cooking, and eating. By the end of the day, there's no time left for hanging out with friends or having any social life. And I even consider myself lucky to be able to live in LA and live around a bunch of the people that I met as I was transitioning from school into the workforce. But I'm busy. My friends are busy. Seems like everyone else who I would like to meet is also busy. And it's just so hard to find time to really connect with anyone. We as a society are profoundly lonely. And that's where the yappers come in. The audiobooks, the streamers, the podcasters, they're always there for us. They're always there for us to have a human voice to connect to when our friends just won't cut it. Feeling bored? Well, just whip out your phone and then you can immediately start listening to an audio version of your favorite book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Feeling lonely? Just whip out your phone and tune into a streamer on Twitch, and instantly you feel connected to not only the streamer, but also the Twitch chat community. And podcasts, they're always there for us as well. No matter our interests, whether it be gaming, fitness, business, politics, cooking, hustle, grindset, mindset. I don't know why I thought of that. There's never a lack of podcasters to cater to your every need. Hop online every Tuesday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and your favorite podcast will be there waiting for you. No need to worry about scheduling, flaking, work hours, transportation, emergencies, or any of the struggles of maintaining your friendships. No need to worry about the rejection and awkwardness of meeting new people. No need to worry about dealing with the everyday annoyances of interacting with other human beings who are bound to have flaws and rough edges just like the rest of us. Just whip out your phone and your favorite podcaster is there to tell you stories, crack jokes, and keep you company. We feel like we're connected to the people we're listening to. We feel like we're part of the conversation. And the best part is, they're all free. Or, free if you try hard enough. Hanging out with friends sure isn't free. Going out for dinner is expensive. Getting drinks at the bar, going to an art class, going to a concert, going to a movie is expensive. Heck, even just going out for matcha will run you like $8 nowadays for absolutely no reason. Having friends is just so insanely expensive, and in our busy lives, it's no wonder that Americans have turned to the yappers, the podcast bros, the Twitch streamers, and the audiobooks to fill that void. To create a false sense of connection when we can't find it in the real world. To make us feel like we understand someone out there and they understand us, despite us falling deeper and deeper into the void of loneliness. To make us feel like, even alone in our room folding the laundry, we at least have someone's voice to listen to. The irony isn't lost on me that I just spent the past 15 minutes sitting here yammering on about God knows what. So I want to make it clear that I have no hate for the yappers. I mean, you gotta make a living somehow, and if the people want yapping, then why not start a podcast? So I don't want to lay all the blame at the feet of all the podcasters and YouTubers and Twitch streamers. All of these new examples of long-form, uninterrupted talking content are simply responding to a demand among American consumers for genuine human connection. So what's more troubling is the fact that Americans feel like they are lacking those social connections in their normal everyday lives in the first place. I feel like the meteoric rise of podcasts to the forefront of political and cultural discourse is sort of, emblematic of an unaddressed rot in our society, where none of us have the time and money to hang out with our friends or meet new people in the real world. So we're all just seeking human connection in the only way we know how, through the internet. Alone in our rooms, listening to a person we don't know and will never meet, speaking to a camera, also alone in their room 2,000 miles away. Okay, wow, that got dark really fast. I don't know, y'all. In my work, what I do in my life when I'm not sitting here yapping, we talk a lot about building strong communities and supporting and protecting our neighbors. But when everyone is so isolated, when people are substituting out real-life, meaningful connections for podcasters, streamers, and audiobooks, how can we even build a community to begin with? We can't. And, it's scary to think that we might be trending in that direction, towards a world where we are separated from each other completely, with all of our social connection replaced by our favorite podcaster, or worse, an AI chatbot clanker. And really, I don't know the solution to it. I guess in the absence of meaningful legislation and policy making to support strong communities, to decrease the cost of living so that we don't have to spend our entire waking lives working to just pay the bills, to create walkable and affordable cities with vibrant public spaces where people can go to chill, have fun, and meet new people. In the absence of meaningful reform, I guess all I can say is go outside. Go hang out with your friends. I know, it's hard. You'll probably have to deal with the sun and pollen and, the occasional rat or two. And you'll have to deal with your dumbass friends too. They'll probably flake like assholes. But it's worth it. Give them a stern talking to, but forgive them and keep trying. The alternative is a lifetime of yap. All right. I have some studying to do, but if you enjoy this video about yapping, you will definitely want to watch my video from last week entitled Respectfully, Just Shut the Fuck Up. Okay. Okay, bye-bye.